Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of City Council on Monday, September 22nd, 2025. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charland.
Here.
Mr. Coghill.
Here.
Ms. Gross. Mr. Mosley.
Here.
Mrs. Kale Smith. Mrs. Strasburger.
Here.
Mrs. Warwick.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Mr. Lavelle, President.
Here.
7 members present.
Thank you. For those who are able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all. Thank you very much. Our next order of business is to amend the agenda. Is there a motion to amend?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have 2 to be presented. We'll do those once Councilwoman Smith arrives. Why don't we read the ones that we have into the record?
Councilmember Warwick presents, be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Friday, September 26, 2025 to be Glenn Hazel Bernice Crawley High Rise Day in the City of Pittsburgh. Councilmember Kale Smith presents, be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Saturday, September 27, 2025 to be Deanna Nusser Day in the City of Pittsburgh. And Councilperson Kale Smith also presents, be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Saturday, September 27th, 2025 to be Matt Smith Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those 3 proclamations have been approved. So next we'll move into public comment. I would like to remind everyone that the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or the deliberation which may be before City Council. Profanity will not be permitted. After you are called, please restate your name, provide your neighborhood for the record. You'll be given 3 minutes to speak. Our first registered speaker is Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller.
Dr. Ronald N. Miller, Germantown, also Berlin, Deutschland. I'm for uncensored freedom of speech. I have been for 10 years as I've spoken here. The Association of American Geographers and the American Historical Association, I became a member in the early 2000s. Global Intelligence Society candidate for president, 2028, and this year, 2025, for Pittsburgh mayor. Global Information Intelligence Network.net. The concerns of council include neighborhoods and the vote. This is consistent with my 2025-2028 initiative, 4 neighborhoods and 1 vote by voter verification for whom. Mr. Gainey, unethically, I think, and disgracefully, non-endorsed by the Democratic Party for 2025, often said he was, quote unquote, from the hood neighborhood. The Ungua neighborhood, African Hausa, is a key to city, country, local governance. Pittsburgh City has 90 neighborhoods. Squirrel Hill North, SHN, and Squirrel Hill South, SHS, are included in this list. Does the councilor claimant for District 5 know where the boundary is between these two? I think not. Do you councilor claimants know the boundaries of the neighborhoods in your districts? Not. Pittsburgh Cityites, Pittsburghers, certainly do not. They don't know where they are exactly. The Kinjo neighborhood, Asian Nihongo, is a key to Pittsburgh City and USA country safety and security. This means getting the best information, not misinformation or lies, rumors, disinformation, observing the demographic integrity of the neighborhood. This was Mr. Carlino Giampolo's point, among other points, regarding the criticism regarding the skateboard park matter. It means observing the residents in the neighborhood. Who comes, who goes, who are these people in our neighborhood? How can it be secure if you don't know who's doing what? The neighborhood in Español Zingero offers a key piece of the city puzzle. And I think there should be a film of each one of the district neighborhoods, all 90, cultural and linguistic history. And I think we should contact filmmakers in Nollywood, in Bollywood, in Mexico City, EUM, and Roma, Italia. And I have begun doing so in the contacts that I've already established with these cities. I also think there should be neighborhood councils. And those councils should control the vote, store the vote, and allow citizens to be able to check their votes.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Chris Rossello.
Good morning, Council. My name is Chris Rossello. I'm a resident of the Spring Garden neighborhood in the north side, and I'm the Director of Policy at PCRG, Pittsburgh Community Reinvestment Group. I want to begin my brief remarks this morning by thanking Council for taking up the Land Bank Intergovernmental Cooperation Agreement, Legislation 2219, and for working collaboratively with the administration, the school district, and the county to bring us to this point. I also want to specifically thank Council members Laval, Wilson, and Mosley for their service on the Land Bank Board and their commitment to its mission, as well as Councilwoman Gross for her steadfast support of the Land Bank going back to her original legislation over a decade ago. This agreement may seem routine on its face, but its importance cannot be overstated. Neighborhood organizations and residents across Pittsburgh have been advocating for this taxing body agreement for years. It's a long overdue mechanism that will allow the land bank to function effectively, to return vacant and tax delinquent properties to productive use, eliminate blight, put more people into homes, and strengthen community development. This action will enable the land bank to conform to the spirit of the 2012 PA Land Banking Act, and when Pittsburgh established its own land bank in 2014. By approving this agreement, Council sends a clear message. Pittsburgh is serious about revitalizing neighborhoods, stabilizing property, and creating safe, vibrant communities where residents can invest in their future. This is the kind of action that turns years of advocacy into real, tangible results in neighborhoods across our city. I urge you to approve this agreement and move Pittsburgh closer to that vision. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Fawn Walker Montgomery, whom I do not see and is not online. Our next speaker is Chris Morey.
Hi, I'm Chris Mari, resident of Squirrel Hill, District 8, and the Executive Director of Inform Up Pittsburgh. I'm here to present the survey results from 95 readers from our reporting on City Council last week. I think if the regular meeting were Tuesday morning, we would have broken 100, which would be pretty exciting. For the first topic from last week that we covered, the public safety campus, we asked readers, the proposed $86 million public safety campus would include facilities open to public use, e.g. the firing range, classrooms, and fitness centers. Which community amenities would be most valuable to include? And we asked them to pick the top three. And the top three rankings were for facilities for CPR and first aid training programs and certification programs, space and programming around emergency preparedness, as well as conflict mediation training. Some comments from readers in support from District 9. Use that space to train residents for free in CPR de-escalation and how to respond in climate emergencies. And opposed from District 8. There's no justification for spending $85 million on policing when we need infrastructure and better wages. The second issue we reported on was on the land bank legislation and asked the question, should the agreement allowing the Pittsburgh Land Bank to acquire properties after 3 years of tax delinquency include explicit prohibitions on acquiring occupied dwellings. 48 respondents, 51% agreed or strongly agreed with that statement. 24 respondents, 25% opposed or strongly opposed. Comments in favor from District 7. If a tenant's landlord isn't paying taxes, there must be protections and a plan to livable housing for that tenant. And against, also from District 7, occupancy isn't normally a blocker to share of sales. Adding that roadblock will invite squatters into buildings where no one is paying taxes. The full survey responses we'll share out in public comment, and if you aren't getting those for any reason, you can reach out at chris@informup.org, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Elena Zaitsev.
Good morning, council members. I'm Elena Zaitsev. I live in the Oak Cliff neighborhood of South Oakland. I'm president of the Oak Cliff Community Organization, which is a registered community organization, and I'm representing that organization today. At the regular meeting on August 13th, the organization voted unanimously to request that Councilman Bob Charlin introduce and support legislation to change the zoning on parcel number 28N 110 from residential to park. It's the Lawn Ophelia Stormwater Retention Park. This request is relevant to all of council members because council votes on zoning requests. Our reasons for this request are as follows. First, the city has already sold part of the park to the adjacent neighbor. A park zoning will make it harder to do so again. City planning told us that with the stormwater retention park there, it's unlikely the city will sell off part of the park. However, this park has 3 tiers and the stormwater plumbing is only in the basin on the lowest part with the top tiers adjacent to a house. Second, there is a precedent from Oakland for this type of zoning change. The parcel that the Oak Cliff Community Playground now sits on was changed from residential to park, the same change we're requesting. As a result of the Oakland plan, the zoning of Zalima Park was also changed to park. The Oakland plan missed the rezoning we're requesting. Third, it will be easier to get amenities if it's rezoned to park. Fourth, throughout the process of the Oakland plan, we were told zoning should match use. So change this zoning to match its use. First, I was told by a representative of Councilman Charlin's office that they had to check with city planning about the language it would take. This is confusing because one of Councilman Charlin's first legislative acts was to get McKee Place rezoned for a Walnut Capital development. So I think they know how to word rezoning legislation. Then I was told by Charlin's office that city planning told them to tell me we need to wait for the Oakland plan as Parks and Rec is the next topic to be addressed. As a member of the Oakland Task Force, I've seen the implementation of the Oakland plan, and with the exception of rezoning, it moves at a snail's pace, possibly because of a lack of funding. But this rezoning does not require funds. City Council does not need city planning's approval for this, so let's get it done now. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Janine Rowland.
Good morning. My name is Janine, Mount Washington. The law already tells us what our moral compass should be, and it's not vague. It's written down case after case, gavel after gavel. In the case of TB versus LRM, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court affirmed that a person standing in loco parentis may seek custody because bonds of care matter more than blood. In regards to the case of the adoption of S.A.J. and Charles versus Stellick, the court repeated, those in the role of parent have standing because stability outweighs biology. In Stanley versus Illinois, the United States Supreme Court struck down a law that cut off a father without a hearing. The message was clear. You cannot sever a real bond without due process. And in Levy versus Levy, the court went further still. Custody turns not on parental preference, but in the best interest of the child. The record is already clear. The precedent already exists. Stability and safety must come first. So the question before us is not whether the law speaks, it already does. The question is whether we will listen. Now, we value the separation of church and state in this country, and that's an ideal worth holding on to. Yins didn't know you were going to church today, you're all excused. But biblical law speaks to this too. In Psalm 82, verses 3 through 4, they say, "Defend the weak and the fatherless, uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed, rescue the weak and the needy, deliver them from the hand of the wicked." And in Matthew 18, verse 6, that Bible that sits upon my nightstand says, "If anyone causes one of the little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea." If Scripture calls the most damning act harming a child or standing silent, then what justification remains for a government, a community, or a system sworn to protect them, all while daring to claim it acts under God's blessing? You don't need to go to church to understand this principle. History has shown us silence never saved anyone. You've been provided a copy of this statement so that you have the names of the cases before you, because I don't know how much of that you were able to capture. My question for you today: does the safety and wholeness of a child depend on which courthouse picks up the call of crisis? Thank you.
Thank you. And our last registered speaker is Ikahana Halmalkina.
Greetings. My title is Chief Ikahana Halmakina. I am the Grand Inca of the Iroquois Confederacy of Aborigine American People. City Council has a moral, ethical, and fiduciary obligation and responsibility to the people who elected you in the positions you currently hold. With an annual operating budget of $665 million and an additional $120 for capital expenditure. We the people expect more out of you. With an operating budget of over $600 million, our city shouldn't have people with housing insecurities. We shouldn't have people with food insecurities. We shouldn't have people in need of reliable transportation. Children in inadequate schools, people in need of health care, unable to afford child care. The math just isn't mathing, as the children say. In an honest and just society, the people's needs must come first. It is obvious that the money isn't being spent wisely or appropriately. Given the testimony we heard last week from EMS and fire, renting classes, trailers, and other training facilities, I myself can think of several city-owned spaces that could be used free of charge instead of spending millions of dollars renting spaces. This is an obvious misappropriation of funds. The city must do more to truly make this city a safe and city for all. Stop putting profits over people. No more creative ways to tax and fine people and surveil people, eroding away people's constitutional rights. Plant more shady trees and make less shady bills. Thank you.
Thank you. That has exhausted our list of registered speakers. If there's anyone in chambers wishing to speak, please come forward at this time. Provide your name and neighborhood for the record.
My name is Yvonne F. Brown. I live at 715 Mercer Street. That's that high-rise up at Bedford. That's 190 apartments. First, I wanted to tell you that if you watched the Penn State game the last time it was on, my neighbor, Wendy Dinkins, is the grandmother of the two Dinkins sons, two Dinkins brothers. One is number 16 and number 13. Now we started talking about that because she was watching the game, but she also was telling me about the father. The father used to play football too. And Wendy was taking him, and the coach told him he don't have it. And she said she left there. She know how DJ fought to play football, that she left there crying. But she said, he's gonna show you differently. And he did. What happened is that he was playing, he was picked up by a football team, and he was playing in Atlanta when she ran into the Italian. Who is the Italian? Your football player, the Italian? Franco Harris. She ran into Franco, and she told Franco, because she had told him what the coach had said, and she was telling him, and he's playing now. He became a coach too, for not here in Pittsburgh, but he became a coach. So don't ever let anybody tell you what your children can't do. That's why when I come down here and I fuss about when Mr. Burgess said when my 5-year-old granddaughter was speaking, when she got finished, said it's not the time and the place for that. Do you understand? I was teaching her how to deal with the government. I was teaching her how she should come down and speak to you when we have a problem. If you don't know, you can't fix it. But when we come and you're on your phones and on your computers, and when you make the decision that the Hill District, that the police would not come to the Hill District, but go to Bloomfield, and the people in the Hill District got to take 2 buses to go to tell the problems that we're having with the police. I want you to understand, I talk about the police. Yes, I do, when they're wrong, but when they're right and come up to our building to put out a bad actor that is beating us with hammers and sticks, and you, council, don't help him, because he said, Mrs. Brown, it's Arbor and Petit who is dropping the ball. So we can't do anything. I went to the tenant council and said, what can we do? He said, I ain't got nothing to do with that. So if I go to council, tenant council who's supposed to help us, and they don't, I come to you and you won't even listen. Excuse me, my time is up.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Next speaker, please. Seeing no further speakers, we'll return to proclamations, and I believe Councilwoman Smith has 2 to be presented.
Kayla and family, come forward, please. Everyone with Kayla. You come over here next to me, okay? How are you? No, I don't know if you know this family. They do a lot. I apologize for being late. Anyway, but I don't know if you know this family. They do a lot of work with Sister Mary and the community. You guys own what is it called?
Her little snapshot thingy.
Yeah. Yeah, they do all kinds of stuff for the community, and she helps, Michaela helps everyone because she learned a lot from this family who gives a lot to Save a Life Today, Pittsburgh, the Parent Place, all over our district, McKees Rocks. They just do a lot of work, and this young girl has picked up all of that and has done a tremendous amount of, it's hard to capture every single thing that she does, but she is there anytime they're volunteering, she's volunteering, so just about, right? So Michaela Reber was born on August 6, 2012, facing significant medical challenges, including brain damage, cerebral palsy, brought on by the NF2 gene, and she was also born with a malformation requiring reconstructive surgery early in life. Look how beautiful you are. And whereas, despite enduring considerable trauma by the age of 13, Michaela has shown remarkable resilience, compassion, and a generous spirit, consistently offering help to others whenever she can. And whereas Michaela is an active and dedicated volunteer in her community, she regularly helps clean up the Grandview Park, reads to the kindergarten class at her old school, and collects toys for children in need, often using her own allowance to contribute. While attending Abiding Missions after-school program, she learned how to take care of chickens. And whereas she is especially devoted to assisting senior citizens, offering help with groceries, aiding them to help get on and off buses, and volunteering at food banks and neighborhood events. And whereas Michaela holds deep empathy for individuals experiencing homelessness, she frequently shares food or money with them, guided by her belief that kindness should be extended to all, especially those facing personal struggles. She sees herself as God's special angel, committed to ensuring that no person or animal feels alone in the world. And whereas Michaela has participated in the Cops and Kids camp for 4 consecutive years and enjoys engaging with police officers at Stop the Violence meetings, proudly collecting their business cards, she even collected a medallion from a sergeant at this year's art festival. I think they're called challenge coins. And she hopes that the law enforcement and others will grow in understanding and compassion towards individuals with mental health challenges like herself. And whereas, when not volunteering, Michaela enjoys helping her grandmother with household tasks such as laundry, dishes, and lifting heavy items. Maybe you should come to my house. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize and commend Michaela Reber for her extraordinary kindness, unwavering strength, and inspiring commitment to serving others despite the adversities she had faced. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Monday, September 22nd, 2025, to be Michaela Reber Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to
So
approve?
moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Say a few words, though? You can say a few words.
You should always treat people with respect.
Michaela, you got taller than me. When did that happen? Oh. I gotta stay on my tippy toes. Here, everyone, anybody else want to say anything? We're gonna take photos too. Does anybody want to say anything? Want to say something? I was hoping Sister Mary came. She couldn't come today. Do you want to say a few words? We're going to take all the council members want to come up for this photo because I'm sure she'd rather have all of you in than me. She sees me all the time. Congratulations. Where is that? Is that in your district? I didn't know what it was. I didn't know that's where you were. Say hi to the council president. That's the council president. Councilman Lavelle.
Friday. How old are you?
13.
By the way, you're about 2 inches taller than me.
Is she? So is Sophie taller than me. It makes me so mad. Council President Lavelle. She does the picture with you by yourself. Okay. So. Wait, you want a picture with somebody else? She's going to give it to the council president. Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm sure she'll take one with you. Yes, I'm sorry.
I'm stuck in this corner, so.
Okay, here, I'm going to get down. With you. Yeah. You're gonna hold the gavel or something.
Thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you, thanks.
Thank you for being here.
You're not presenting your second one, Councilwoman?
Nice to meet you.
Okay. That. That. So the second one's not being presented. That's okay. Yeah.
Councilwoman Cale Smith also presents, be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Monday, September 22nd, 2025 to be Susan Lucas Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Proclamation has been approved. That takes us to the presentation of papers, beginning with Councilman Charlin, Chair of Human Resources.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning.
Councilperson Charlin presents Bill Number 2264, Resolution amending Resolution 559 of 2022, which authorized the City of Pittsburgh to enter into a professional services agreement and/or contract with Industrial Organizational Solutions, Inc. for professional consulting services in connection with police lieutenant and police sergeant position development by extending the term by 1 year and increasing the not-to-exceed amount by $74,000 for a new not-to-exceed amount of $350,000.
And that takes us to Councilman Coghill, Chair of Public Safety and Wellness.
No new papers, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Gross, Chair of Innovation, Performance, Asset Management, and Technology.
No new papers, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilman Mosley, Chair of Intergovernmental Educational Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilman Mosley presents Bill Number 2265, Resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant payable in favor of Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission for the second of 2 installments for the 2025 annual membership dues in an amount not to exceed $64,373.50.
And Councilwoman Cale Smith, Chair of Recreation, Youth, and Senior Services.
No new papers, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Schlossberger, Chair of Finance and Law.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I smell it.
Councilperson Strasburger presents Bill Number 2266, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into a subscription agreements, and amendments thereto with Walters Kluwer, Inc. for access to a subscription database to support federal litigation and related matters for an amount not to exceed $17,197.63 over 3 years.
And Councilwoman Ward, Chair of Public Works and Infrastructure.
No new papers, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilman Wilson, Chair of Land Use and Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Wilson presents Bill number 2267, Resolution amending Resolution 531, effective August 6, 2013, providing for the implementation of a residential parking permit program, Area L, in the Central Northside Community, Council District 1, to expand the district to include an additional address pursuant to Pittsburgh Code Chapter 549.
And for myself, I have 2 communications.
Council President Lavelle presents Bill number 2268, communication from Jake Pollack, Director of the Office of Management and Budget, submitting to City Council the attached status update from the Grants Office for the week ended September 19, 2025, and Bill 2269, communication from Jennifer Gula, Director of the Department of Finance, submitting required contribution of the minimum municipal obligation to the city's 3 pension funds in 2026 pursuant to Act 205.
Need a motion to read, receive, and file?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The bills have been read, received, and will be filed. Our next order of business is reports of committee for final action, beginning with Councilwoman Erica Strasburger, presenting the Committee of Finance and Law.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilperson Strasburger presents Bill number 2257, reported to Committee on Finance and Law for September 17, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 2211, resolution amending Resolution 378 of 2025, which authorized a professional services agreement with Exponent, Inc. in connection with claims and litigation involving the Fern Hollow Bridge by increasing the approved amount by $100,000 for a new not-to-exceed total of $140,000 over 1 year. Bill 2212, resolution amending Resolution 419 of 2025, which authorized the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into a professional services agreement with Artex Risk Consultants for insurance consulting services by updating the legal vendor name to Risk International Holdings, LLC, at no additional term or cost to the city. Bill 2213, resolution authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into a professional service agreement or agreements and amendments thereto with Bernstein Berkeley PC for legal consulting services in connection with bankruptcy, collection, litigation, and related matters for an amount not to exceed $125,000 over 1 year. Bill 2218, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of finance to enter into, on behalf of the city of Pittsburgh, a lease agreement or agreements with New Singular Wireless PCS LLC to utilize a portion of that certain city-owned building located at 822 Crucible Street, 20th Ward, 2nd Council District, for the purpose of placing and maintaining telecommunications equipment at no cost to the city.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charland.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Mosley.
Aye.
Mrs. Kell-Smith.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President.
Aye.
9 ayes, 0 noes.
The bill, having received the legally required number of votes, is passed finally. That takes us to Councilwoman Barbara Ward, presenting to the Committee of Public Works and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilwoman Warwick presents Bill number 2258, reported to Committee on Public Works and Infrastructure for September 17, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1967, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Works to enter into an agreement or agreements with Henningsen, Durham, and Richardson of Pennsylvania Architects and Engineers, PC, for costs associated with the master plan of a public safety training campus and providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $1,800,000 over a period of 2 years. Bill 2221. Resolution amending Resolution 386, effective June 19th of 2019, entitled Authorizing the Mayor and the Director of the Department of Public Works to enter into an agreement or agreements or the use of existing agreements between the City of Pittsburgh and Pashak Plus MTR for the professional landscape architectural services for Southside Park Phase 1 design, cost not to exceed $461,220, by increasing the total allocation by the amount of $116,835.82 for a new total of $578,055.82.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Councilwoman Gross.
Thank you, Mr. President. I once again want to thank all members for your willingness to give some time and space to put in amendments to Bill 2025-1967, since we've worked on it in the last few months, and your support last week for, I think, doing the important work of memorializing Council's opposition to having militarized training in the city of Pittsburgh, and support for using the space as really a shared space, and to the best of, to the extent that it's possible, even public access space. What we learned from looking around the country is that many of these facilities operate in part as a community space. And there are certainly members of the community who will need access to train jointly for disaster relief and emergency response. But also, since there is the possibility in the future, not in the near term, but in the future, that we will be building new city facilities, that the public has the possibility of having access to those facilities for recreation or further enjoyment. I do have an amendment in front of us today. Thank you to Councilman Coghill, that I think just further clarifies the shared space for administrative office space. So I'm going to motion to amend Bill 2025-1967. I think the clerk has it, and members have the yellow thing, yellow amendment in front of you. You can see there's just one sentence that says administrative offices for public safety bureaus.
Second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion on the amendment? If none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The bill has been amended. Any further discussion on the bills as amended? Councilman Mosley.
Yeah, again, I want to thank Councilwoman Gross and the District 7 staff for their yeoman effort over the past couple months to balance the various concerns that we've had, the concerns from the public of movement around the country, of militarizing police, and our steadfast opposition to that, as well as the concerns among this body and other leaders in city government to not turn over that property back to a very hostile federal government at this time. I think we all agreed that this was not the time to punt on this property and hand it back over to a very hostile federal government. So to balance those two dynamics at the same time was extremely complex and complicated. So I really thank Councilwoman Gross for her leadership and bringing her institutional knowledge on this issue that goes back nearly a decade now, to help guide us through this process so that we could not only avoid, I think, a very undesirable outcome of turning this property back over to a hostile federal government, but also being able to do so while addressing the very valid concerns that came from the public about a national movement that is militarizing police forces all over the country, and making sure that movement does not rear its head here in the city of Pittsburgh. So and I thank all the members for their unanimous support for this project. I look forward to moving forward with this, to provide the resources that our EMS service needs, to provide service that fire and animal control and the various departments within public safety need, but also being able to provide very important facilities for our public to also enjoy. So thank you, everyone who was involved in this process.
Thank you. Well said. Anyone else? Councilman Smith.
Thank you. I just want to say briefly, I abstained last week on the amendments because I didn't feel comfortable with the amendments. I don't think they're enforceable, number one. And number two, I don't know how legal they are. And I don't know that the federal government is going to sign off on saying that they're okay with us, setting parameters for them using the facility, since they do own the facility. And there were agreements, and actually Dan Friesen, who was our council solicitor, wrote that initial agreement. And so I know that there's some concerns. So, but at the same time, I don't feel comfortable not voting for it because I actually did put the public safety training facility in the Act 47 plan back when it was a smaller facility, and it was brought to me by Chief Jones and Chief Harper at the time. And so I want to vote in favor of it. But I also want to say, I'm not opposed to us training our police officers and having police officers have a facility. We expect them to be highly trained, highly professional, social workers, everything in the community, but then we're going to act like it's an issue if they're together training. We're the ones who will be the first ones to question it if something goes wrong. So I want to make sure that I say that I think training our officers is extremely important. And to make sure that the public is safe at all times, and making sure you have a highly competent and qualified police bureau is part of that. And so for those reasons, I'm going to vote for it today, but I do have concerns with the amendments. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charland.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill. Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Mosley.
Aye.
Mrs. Keel-Smith.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President.
Aye.
9 ayes, 0 noes.
The bill, having received the legally required number of votes, is passed finally. That moves us to Councilman Bobby Wilson, presenting the Committee of Land Use and Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilman Wilson presents Bill number 2263, reported to Committee on Land Use and Economic Development for September 17, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1968, resolution providing for the designation as a historic structure under Title 11 of the Code of Ordinances, that certain structure known as the Anathan House, located at 1620 Murray Avenue in the Squirrel Hill North neighborhood in the 14th Ward, City of Pittsburgh. The owner of the property supports the nomination, and there is no cost to the city. Bill 2214, resolution further amending Resolution 647 of 2020, effective December 23, 2020, as amended, entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2021 Capital Budget and the 2021 Community Development Block Grant Program and the 2021 through 2026 Capital Improvement Program by increasing Home Investment Partnerships Program, American Recovery Program, Home ARP, by $12,448 to account for additional U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development funding being received by the City of Pittsburgh. Bill 2215, resolution amending Resolution 561 of 2024, which authorized agreements with agencies to provide supportive services related to the Home ARP by increasing the allocations for Jubilee Association by $50,000 and the Salvation Army by $262,448 for a new total cost not to exceed $512,448 over 2 years.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charland.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Mosley.
Aye.
Mrs. Keel-Smith.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President.
Aye.
9 ayes, 0 noes.
The bill, having received the legally required number of votes, is passed finally, and that takes us to Councilwoman Teresa Keel-Smith, presenting the Committee of Recreation, Youth, and Senior Services.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Teresa Keel-Smith presents Bill number 2260, reported to Committee on Recreation, Youth, and Senior Services for September 17, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 2223, resolution expressing the City of Pittsburgh support and endorsement of the Pennsylvania Commission for the United States Semi-Quincentennial through its initiative America 250 PA.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charland.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Mosley.
Aye.
Mrs. Kale Smith.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President.
Aye.
9 ayes, 0 noes.
The bill, having received the legally required numbers of votes, is passed finally. And that moves us to Councilwoman Deborah Gross, presenting the Committee of Innovation, Performance, Asset Management, and Technology.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill Number 2261, reported to Committee on Innovation, Performance, Asset Management, and Technology for September 17, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 2216, resolution amending Resolution 716 of 2024, which authorized the City of Pittsburgh to extend a professional service agreement with STR Grants LLC for software services relating to the eProperties Plus profiling system by extending the term by 1 year at an additional cost not to exceed $60,261.66.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charland.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Mosley.
Aye.
Mrs. Kale Smith.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President.
Aye.
9 ayes, 0 noes.
The bill, having received the legally required numbers of votes, is passed finally. And finally, Councilman Kari Mosley, presenting the Committee of Intergovernmental Educational Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Mosley presents Bill Number 2262, reported to Committee on Intergovernmental and Educational Affairs for September 17, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 2217, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Finance to execute a special warranty deed or deeds and any other necessary or appropriate documents, agreements, and instruments accepting all of the sports and exhibition authorities' right, title, and interest in certain parcels and agreed upon portion of 8L8, collectively North Shore Riverfront Park in the 22nd Ward, 6th Council District, and authorizing the payment of $1 plus costs in exchange for the parcels. And Bill 2219, resolution amending Resolution 285 of 2024, which authorized the City of Pittsburgh to negotiate a cooperation agreement or agreements with the County of Allegheny, the Pittsburgh Public School District, and the Pittsburgh Land Bank, by fully authorizing the execution of said agreement or agreements.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Councilwoman Gross.
Thank you, Mr. President. Madam Clerk, I would like my comments from Wednesday brought forward for the final vote record. And just to reiterate briefly, this is an agreement that has been a long time in the making. So I want to acknowledge the hard work that all of the taxing bodies and the administration put into bringing it to resolution. And we really hope that it greatly accelerates the pace of putting properties that are off the market back onto the market, and especially creating housing and reinvesting in neighborhoods that have been disinvested. I want to recall that the treasure sale process is where we've had some 10,000 properties whose name on the deed is the City of Pittsburgh. But embedded in this taxing agreement is the power for the land bank to take properties from people whose name, is not the City of Pittsburgh on the deed. It's not just clearing our backlog of inventory from decades, but it's taking new properties. Now, many of us struggle, many on council have spoken to the very important problem to solve, which is to solve the dead-end properties, where there's just a property that's stuck in the system that's causing problem in neighborhoods that is, this brings us that tool. But I just want to remind us that with that new tool brings a new power that has not been there before, which is why we'll hoping that it will be effective with the dead-end properties, but that we should all keep eyes on it because it is a power that could be used negatively, right? And so we don't want to see people who are living in their home having their homes taken from them. We don't want to see, especially seniors who are struggling with upkeep of their home, right, to be harmed by this new power that we're basically amplifying for the land bank. I know I'm struggling to come up with the right exact legal term, but so just a word of both hope and caution. But it is a momentous new chapter, so I just wanted to acknowledge that. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm supportive today.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilwoman Smith?
I'm just going to say that I have a lot of concerns about the land bank, as did Reverend Burgess and Councilman Lavelle and I when it was initially brought forth to City Council. And I believe Councilwoman Gross, you may have been part of that too. I don't remember, but I can tell you that I've had issues and concerns about it since its formation. And even though I sat on it for a little while, Councilman Wilson took my seat on that, and now he's the chairperson. So, right? And so I think that I think my colleagues are doing the best they can. I'm concerned that this agreement takes the council's power away from them, and that it gives power to people that may not have the same interest of representing the people of the city of Pittsburgh as we do. And I don't know that they're doing such a great job with their own properties right now, or that they're so open to us. Maybe what we should have done in the agreement is we'll be happy to put them on this board if they would be happy to put two people appointed by the mayor on their board. Because I would like to see City Council have some say in what they're doing, because when they're talking about closing schools, when they're talking about different programs, when they're talking about recreations and after-school programs, that all affects our people too. So it'd be nice to see that relationship reciprocated, right? It would be nice to see that, and so I would love to see that too. But I also think it's odd that we're now giving an administration more power over the land than council. And they'll have some say, I'm sure, in who's appointed from the county and other places. But we're okay with doing that, and a lot of this council did not support the possibly incoming mayor. And so we don't know what that future holds for that. And so, and we don't know what development looks like, coming forward. So I'm just going to urge council to please make sure you keep a handle on what's happening with I remember with the land in the city of Pittsburgh. I remember before I was elected, there was a woman from Fairywood. Her name was Miss Nixon, Alice Nixon. And at every meeting, she'd say to me, "It's a land use issue, honey. It's a land use issue. They want the land. They want the." And at every meeting, I thought, "What is this woman talking?" And then I got elected to council, and I was like, I wish she was still living so I could tell her how right she was. It is absolutely a land use issue, and it is our responsibility to protect our residents and to make sure that we're moving. I have a lot of properties in my district that need the land bank help, and that would have been an ideal place to start doing some things. But as of last week, when I asked about 10 properties that were supposed to be moved, they were unsure of where they were. So, if you're going to say that this is 4 areas that have blighted properties, well, then please start in Esplin, Sheridan, and places where they actually need some of your help, and not just necessarily where the biggest developments are happening in the city of Pittsburgh, because I can tell you they're not happening in the West End. Thank you. So I'm going to vote no today. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Wilson?
Thank you, Mr. President. And I want to acknowledge everyone that's worked on this, especially the Land Bank Board throughout the years that have, stuck it out. There's a lot of members who, were there years before I even, thought of, trying to make an impact on the, in this area. So I want to thank all of them. I mean, a lot of people have dropped off from the Land Bank Board because it just wasn't working. Or at least that was the narrative. And so now that, we're in an era of some success here, I want to thank everyone that's been involved, and I want to thank the current acting executive director, Sally Stadelman, for, working with the city, the city's law department, the administration, to make sure that it's the best draft possible for the agreement. That was several months of work, and I know that took a lot of lot of effort behind the scenes. And when we think about a bill like this that we're voting on, it's not something that you can easily just celebrate, because it's so, there's so much to explain as to what this is. And so the way I view this is it's something that will definitely change the landscape of neighborhoods and the way neighborhoods are changed in the future, because it does give a lot more power to the good tool, the land bank, the good tool, which is the land bank, to recycle vacant abandoned property. And so as we move forward, there's going to be a lot of challenges to make sure that everything is on the up and up, to put it frankly, because this does mean that the land bank will be going to sheriff's sale, will have the right of first refusal, and that there's a lot of responsibility with that. And the public is expecting that we're acting in a proper way. I also want to note that this is going to prompt the other piece of legislation that adds these two board seats from the county and also the school district. So looking forward to the collaborative effort there, because I feel like that's only going to bring more awareness to the issue and how much the school district can actually benefit in this process. Because when we think about schools, we think about neighborhoods, and we definitely don't want to leave our neighborhoods behind. And we definitely want more families in those homes to go to our schools. And so looking forward to, more people being involved, more entities, more government entities being involved. So I want to thank everyone that took part in this effort, and looking forward to everyone here on council to support it. Thank you.
Thank you. There being no further discussion, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charland.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
1 minute. Aye. 7.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Mosley.
Aye.
Mrs. Kelsmith.
Aye on Bill 2217 and no on Bill 2219.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President.
Aye.
9 ayes on Bill 2217 and 0 noes, and 8 ayes, 1 no on Bill 2219.
The bill, having received the legally required number of votes, is passed finally. We do have meeting announcements this afternoon at 1:30. Council will hold our standing committee meeting. Speaker registration will close at 12:30. Thursday, September 25th at 11 a.m., Council will hold a cablecast public hearing on Bill 2151 as it relates to the Pittsburgh water conditional use. Speaker registration will close at 9 a.m. the day of the hearing. To register to speak at any of these meetings, please fill out the sign-up form on the council meetings webpage or call the clerk's office at 412-255-2138. With that, we need a motion to approve the minutes and adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Before adjournment, Councilman Wilson?
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to make a motion to hold a cablecast public post agenda on the municipal fleet and fleet efficiency report.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We'll work with you and the clerk to get that scheduled.
Thank you.
With that, all in favor of approving the minutes and adjourn the meeting, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.